Well, speaking of lighting up the room, we're here with us today. We have actor and author Samantha Rank and comedian Aatif Nawaz to take a look back at some of the talking points from the week's newspapers. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm going to kick things off today. I think it's a story I saw this week, which I think is going to be hugely significant. It was from the States, San Francisco. Which apparently could become the first major US city to fund reparations for slavery to its residents. I'm not sure if you've seen this. Under this plan, each eligible black resident will be given $5 million. The city appointed a panel to look into the issue of reparations, and they've also suggested guaranteed annual incomes of $97,000 for those who qualify, and homes in San Francisco for just $1 a family. So I say these are recommendations that are being considered at the minute. Samantha, supporters of the plan have said that, this is something that's really important to redress the legacy of US slavery. What do you make of it?
I think a lot of these initiatives are well-meaning, but it does worry me a little bit that they feel somewhat tokenistic, throw a little bit of money at it and just hope that, this will never reoccur and we're not educating our future generations. As a former teacher, I'd rather see the investment in education and put back into the community. Also, where is this big pot of money coming from? Is this going to be detrimental for other resources? That's my only concern.
Yeah. Aatif, what do you think? Because ultimately, people who are against it will say this is people who didn't practice slavery, who are paying money to people who weren't involved in slavery, who weren't slaves.
Yeah, you kind of worry about it breeding resentment and what have you. And obviously, I feel very strange just talking about it because I can't relate to any part of that equation. I've been to San Francisco; they do things very strangely over there generally. But it seems just like Sam said, it does feel like tokenistic. You worry about what everybody else in the community is going to think, and what are they going to cut? Is it like, we've got wonderful houses for everybody, but there's no fire department anymore? What are they going to cut? You just worry about it logistically.
The flip side of it, of course, is the generational trauma, which I actually think is a really strong thing. And you don't have to go back many generations to get to slaves. You talk to sort of an old man in San Francisco whose grandfather or even their parents will have remembered someone talking about slavery. It isn't that far away. And that does pass through generations, because the way those slaves would have acted passed on to their children, and then we'd come to this age now. So I sort of do see the other side very strongly.
San Francisco is a very progressive city, and you worry about how other cities in the US or other states in the US will take to this, and it's already not a very cohesive country at the moment. People have got very, very extreme views. Roe versus Wade happened and people were split down the middle in America. So you just think, is this one of those things that's going to continue to divide? Is this the real solution, or do you need to empower your black community in more in more tangible, long-term, more sincere ways? Because it's like throwing money at a problem. That's not the way you do it. I don't know, but that's not the way I do it.
Interesting. It is, interesting to see the progress that's being made. Samantha, I'd like to get onto your story.
Yeah.
The idea of linking, money with happiness.
Yes,
we're told not to
money. So I'm sure we have all heard the phrase, money can't buy you happiness, but hold on to your hats, because I am here to tell you that it actually can. But before we all get too excited and think we're going to be emphatically happy, it may come with a rather high price tag. So in 2010, Nobel Prize winning economist Daniel Kahneman, if I said that correctly, announced that the cost of happiness comes from earning around $75,000. So that's about £61,000. And, in recent years, they've kind of revisited this study and said, the price tag has gone even higher, and it will cost you around $500,000. Now, I am dreaming of having my goat farm with that. That would make me emphatically happy. But on a serious note, this thing of money and tangibility, being a disabled woman, having a disability costs close to it's £583 extra a month on average to be disabled. So money might not necessarily cost you happiness, but it brings you security, it brings you safety, it brings you autonomy and that independence. So I always feel a bit weird when we look at studies like this and we kind of make a bit of a joke about it, because actually money at the moment for everybody is such a subject that makes us all quite vulnerable, doesn't it?
I suppose though the worst thing about it is it's always a tough subject, but the idea for a lot of people who maybe certainly this level of money, what we're talking about, that's unattainable. So it's kind of
Totally.
makes me quite sad then to sort of think that that's what we need to be happy. Surely not.
Yeah, also, what's funny about it is the cap, right? So apparently this is the amount of money to be happy, but if you make more, you're not going to be any happier.
Yes.
So now we've identified a mean happiness, a median of happiness that cannot be broken through. It's the glass ceiling of happiness, guys. We can't break through. There's no point. There's no point being ambitious. The gentleman you were speaking to earlier, who's very successful entrepreneur, you might as well stop. No point trying to go further because that's what makes you equally happy. I find it quite amusing, to be honest with you. I think I know of a lot of people who don't make a ton of money.
Yeah.
So happy,
very
thrilled with their lives.
Totally.
And I know a lot of people who, well, I don't know a lot
I said,
of
Oh.
No, but people, you do meet people who are very wealthy and they're not happy.
Not
They're
happy,
miserable
yeah.
people.
Oh, no.
So money gives you options, but it doesn't necessarily make you happy.
Totally.
Aatif, give us your story.
Yeah, okay, this is a bit of a romantic story for you guys, okay? A well-known German conspiracy theorist called Captain Future, and why wouldn't you follow this man anywhere?
Wow.
He's launched a dating site specifically for conspiracy theorists. To join, you have to jump through a few hoops by sharing theories, like, that you're interested in, like flat Earth, things like that. And it's taken off in Germany. 1,500 people have signed up in 3 weeks. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm thinking about it.
Oh, well, if I could meet someone called Captain Future and be Mrs. Future,
There you go.
maybe sign
There
me
you go.
up. I mean, it makes sense. But I mean, is it a good thing to kind of get a lot of people who are maybe feel? I think it's fair to say a little bit paranoid and putting them together.
Oh, come on. Like, think of the romance. Like, they found, like, of all the people in the world who think that peanut butter causes you to fall asleep, like, they have found each other, the two of them.
Oh,
in
yeah.
this whole world have found each other. It's the romance.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
yeah, or people who believe in a flat Earth. I mean, you want to meet someone else who believes in a flat Earth.
Yeah, and
That's
also you want to
something
know
about
that
it.
all the people who believe in these things are in one place.
You would give
Yeah,
them
as long
away.
as they're alone on a desert island, they can find happiness. I'll be happy for them.
I don't think it has a title yet, by the way, but I think it's called redflag.com.
That's it. But go on, Samantha. Would you date someone if you?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, you know already my views on dating, and I'm such a cat woman that I mean, I'd rather know these things before I
Totally,
become
yeah.
committed and buy a goat with this person. I'd rather know their inner workings.
I love how committed you are to the goat farm.
I mean, I just have a bit of an
Watching
obsession.
it
If anyone wants to get me a goat, call me.
So you don't need £415,000.
No,
You don't need Captain
just a
Future.
goat.
You just need a goat.
A goat.
You look happy enough. Look, lovely to talk to you both. Thank you.
And
Pleasure.
happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Yes, happy
Thank you.
Mother's
Well
Day.
done. Thank you. Thanks. Lovely to see you both.